This is a quick guide to competitive Team Fortress in the 4 versus 4 offense versus defense capture the flag format. In particular, the Quake 1 mod FortressOne, the gold source mod Team Fortress Classic, and the source mod Fortress Forever. The competitive format is there as a structure to provide the opportunity to play these games, since the pub scene doesn't exist in the same way that it did years ago. For Quake players or other arena shooters, the class-based objective gameplay of Team Fortress can be a great way to add an extra dimension to the game. And for Team Fortress 2 players, several of the classes play very similarly, so if you're looking for a more intense, faster gameplay experience, then this can be a great place to look. That said, Team Fortress is absolutely a gamer's game. There's a lot of skills required to even play the game. So you need to already be able to bunny hop, by which I mean conserve momentum and even gain momentum as you're moving around the map. You need to be able to rocket jump and really just already be comfortable with a rocket launcher. So if you're not comfortable with deathmatch, you really need to start there. But if you are and you're looking for an extra layer to your game, then nothing beats Team Fortress. It's the fastest and most intense game that there is. Your average life on offense is 10 to 15 seconds. There's just no downtime. It's just relentless attacking. And on defense, you're on the receiving end of that for the entire game. And there's no hand-holding in this game. This isn't Call of Duty or Overwatch, where the game is trying to hide how bad you are from yourself. This is entirely skill-based, and that's the best part about it. All the conversation surrounding these games happens on Discord now. Discord has completely replaced previous communications platforms like IRC. So you'll need to join a Discord server for the game you want to play. There are several different Discord servers, and pickup games happen on different Discord servers. Each server works differently. Typically, you'll need to join the room for pickup games on the server through a reaction or a chat command. Within the pickup channel, there's typically a bot which manages pickup games. Bots respond to chat commands such as add or join. You should just watch in the pickup channel and see how things happen there. And feel free to ask questions and join in when a game is happening. With new players, it can be best to not even join the 4v4 in the bot and just join the offensive team for both halves in game and in the voice chat. Just ask the other players there what they think is best. Be sure you have the right microphone set up. Typically, the voice activated is better than the push to talk. And if your computer can handle it, you can enable noise cancellation within Discord, which will filter out keyboard noise or background noise. Also, be sure to enable the in-game overlay, which will show you when you're speaking or when someone else is speaking. And it will also allow you to switch back to your Discord chat without alt-tabbing out of your game, which is really useful, particularly in the Half-Life engine where the game tends to crash when you alt-tab. So this overlay allows you to access Discord without leaving the game. Once 8 people have joined, the pickup will begin, the map will be chosen, and the teams will be chosen. The pickup bot will send you the server info, but just ask in the chat if you have any issues with joining the server. The game is played in 2 halves, with each side having a half where they play offense and another half where they play defense. Blue typically plays offense first. Different games do things differently. Following the first half in FortressOne, there's a pause in the game for 10 seconds while you switch classes, but you don't switch teams, and you play the other half with the colors in reverse. In Team Fortress Classic and in Fortress Forever, the map ends after the half and restarts on the same map again. You'll join the other team. Again, blue will be offense and red will be defense, and so you'll be playing on the other team than you did the first half. The only score that matters is flag captures, and so only the offense is capable of scoring. Once you've joined the game and chat has been split into two separate teams, you choose your class. If you're a new player, just play the class you're most comfortable with, and your more experienced teammates will select classes based on that. Players coming from arena shooters may be most comfortable with the Soldier or the FortressOne Pyro. Players coming from a game like Team Fortress 2 might be comfortable with any of the defensive classes. The Engineer, Soldier, Demo Man, they all play largely the same. The primary difference to this version of Team Fortress is the grenades. You'll need to get used to conch jumping, particularly in TFC and Fortress Forever. But you can play a spy or an offensive soldier until you get that skill down. The composition required for defense is typically a standard engineer, demo man, heavy weapons, and soldier. In Fortress 1, the Highlander rule is in effect, so typically the offense is a medic, scout, spy, and pyro. In TFC and FF, offenses can range from all scout to all medic for more combat-oriented maps, and spy and other classes can be mixed in there as well, depending on what's needed for the situation. This is an example layout of a Team Fortress map, such as Destroy. These maps typically have a neutral yard in the center and have two symmetrical bases with corridors which form loops and other patterns. Typically we'll see a button which deactivates lasers around the flag. In a map like this, entering on one side, you can reach the button on your way to the flag room, where the other side provides a more direct route to the flag room, often with the spawn on that side. Typically, the soldier will play near the button, where he can use his rockets as crowd control to keep the enemies away from the button. And he can use the small corridors as choke points to have maximum effect on the enemies coming through. Typically, the heavy will play on the main passageway, where he can use the long angles to have the longest amount of time affecting the enemies with his gun. Typically, the engineer will play in the flag room nearby the flag and set up his sentry gun nearby there. Once his gun is up, he can be a little flexible on where he moves, and he can cover for his teammates while they're down, and he can also build dispensers or rebuild his gun as soon as it goes down. The demo man can also be a little flexible. He can play right on the button while security is up, and then when security goes down, he can move into the flag room and put his pipes directly on the flag. Soldier has some flexibility too. He can play in front of the button while it's up and then move behind the button while it's down. By pushing forward, you gain more visibility at the front of the base where the enemy is entering, but you're less in contact with the flag room where you're actually needed. By playing at the back, you can guard the flag better, but you have less warning on when and where enemies are coming from. When the button is down, the entire defense will be gathered in the flag room, but each of you is still covering your respective areas. The soldier and heavy weapons are each covering an entrance and are expected to call out every enemy that's passing them. You can call out one button saying that one enemy is coming from the button. You can call scout button, scout main, medic main. These callouts say that one of those type of enemy is coming that direction. You can call out that they're weak if you've put some damage on them. This allows your teammates to use different weapons or tactics to handle them more easily. So scout button weak is saying that one scout has gotten past you at button and is coming into the flag room. and weak and can be finished with a shotgun. When you die, you call out that you died, and your teammates can cover that direction that you were covering. As an engineer, you'll be covering your gun, keeping it up, and you'll call out when the gun is down, and your teammates will be aware that they may need to guard the flag. Typically, it will take several touches of the flag to get it out of the base. So you'll move with the flag as it's moving out of the base, trying to delay it as much as possible to take as much time as possible for the enemy to take the flag out of your base. As an engineer, you can even build a gun forwards as the flag is moving out of the base. You'll want the demo man to be able to pipe directly on the flag, so you'll build your gun off to the side in a corner where the enemy can't get behind it. You want the soldier and the heavy weapons guy to keep covering forwards and backwards down the hallways as you're making your way towards the entrance, covering the flag. Then when the flag is inevitably going to be captured, you need to break off the chase and return to the flag room so that the enemy doesn't get a relay behind you. The engineer will typically need to do that first because it takes about a minute to build the gun. But if a medic is already there waiting for them, the engineer will have to battle before they can even begin building. If you're ever not sure where you should be building a gun or where you should be standing or playing, just ask your teammates. Typically, people have very vocal opinions about these things and will not hesitate to tell you exactly where you should be building or standing. Once the game has begun, you then play in that position for the entire half. If you're guarding the button or guarding a hallway and you die, you immediately return to that place because the enemy is going to be exploiting that. Ideally, you don't even have to turn around if you're guarding an entrance. You know that your teammates are behind you covering the flag. Similarly, if you're a demo man, you want to be looking directly at the flag where you have your pipes, and you don't want to have to turn around to look at an entrance to see who's coming in. You want to rely on the communications. On offense, there's typically only one or two spawns on a map, so leaving the base and entering the enemy base is the same route every time. You can get used to the timing for your conch jumps or your rocket jumps, and get used to moving as fast as possible while you're entering the enemy base, so you can catch them by surprise and so you can get as many attacks in as you can during the half. When you enter the enemy base, you can go left or right to go towards the button or up the main hallway directly to the flag room. You can watch the kill feed and listen to the communications from your teammates to know if one of the enemies is going to be dead. Particularly for a soldier on the far side of the map and not next to the respawn, they can be out of position for 5 or 10 seconds. Tossing a flag, even a few feet, can be very useful. It forces the defense to move and makes good progress towards the exit. Typically, you want to always leave through the main direct exit. But remember, you can always loop around behind to catch the defense by surprise from behind, and you can also swoop the flag back into their base and get behind the defense that way, leaving from the other direction. Pay attention to the timing of the button so you don't get stuck in the flag room, unable to access the flag. As a new player, you can focus a lot on the button, trying to keep the button down and trying to be there when needed to press it again when it becomes active. Try to always be moving towards the flag to keep pressure on the defense. As soon as you die, you respawn and return to their base as quickly as possible to, again, just pressure the defense, and one member of your team will eventually get through, scoop that flag, and get out, and repeat that process as quickly as possible. You got to communicate with your team on when the caps are going to happen and keep the button down and get the relays, drive up that scoreboard. So, just asking game if you have any questions. Chances are at least one of your teammates won't be a complete dick and might be able to answer your questions. If you have any discussions, just talk in the Discord. The people there usually love to talk about their game. And comment below if you have any questions or suggestions or comments. And thanks for watching.